What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're making a different kind of video, and the reason is because a long time ago I took this car to a mechanic shop to get some work done on it, because my dad used to drive this car to work and we need to fix a lot of things that was wrong with this car. So they promised they gave me back the car in 2 or 3 days, swapping out the engine and installing a new clutch kit. So we left the car in the shop, and when I got it back, the car was leaking transmission oil. For those that know these type of cars, they run on a special synthetic transmission oil that it's way too hard to find. And the car was leaking oil all over the place. They fixed it again, but guess what happened? They fucked up the clutch slave cylinder, because when they tried to put the transmission back on, they didn't have a transmission jack, so they were forcing the transmission in place. And to fix the oil leak, they just put tons and tons of silicone between the transmission and the slave cylinder. I had to use a sliding hammer to break the silicone off. But guess what? It doesn't end there. The slave cylinder was damaged and it was losing brake fluid all over. Back then I had this transmission cleaned up and painted, and with the brake fluid leaking all over, it peeled off most of the paint on the transmission. But when I took the transmission off and I saw the flywheel and the disc, it has some heat marks. So they took the car to test drive it, and then they burned up the clutch in a couple of hours. So now I have to redo all the work, the paint job. I have to install a new clutch kit, including the slave cylinder. And since the transmission is already off, I'm gonna replace these seals from the axle shaft, so that way we don't have any more leaks. On my next video, I am gonna show you the other Focus SVT that I have, the red one, and they did exactly the same shit on both cars. They stuck a bunch of silicone on the slave cylinder, and also they burned up the clutch for the second time in that same mechanic shop. This is why you have to learn to fix your shit, because otherwise you're gonna get screwed. At that time that I took those cars to the shop, I didn't have most of the tools that I have now. And because I have a busy schedule, I couldn't fix the car myself. But now I regret that day. I should have bought the tools, and I should have fixed the car myself. But from now on, I won't take any of my cars to any shop unless I have to. Like for instance, I don't have a fancy tool scanner, and I might need to take one of my cars to a shop to get scanned or reprogrammed or something like that. But everything else, I'm gonna fix it right here at home. I'm not gonna waste any more money on shady mechanic shops that they just rip you off and go joyriding your car. This type of shit happened to me not in just one shop. This is the second or third shop that I had noticed that they took my cars joyriding. So be very careful where you take your cars, and if you can, try to put a GPS on the car so you can know where the car is at all times. In this last shop that I took the two SVTs, they caused more damage to both vehicles than what they charged me. The two clutch kits cost around $450 each one. So I spent $900 just buying the parts that these motherfuckers damaged in the process. They also had many of the bolts lost. Some of those are stripped, and they broke the spark plug cover. And when I picked the car, they told me it was like that when I got it, and that is just bullshit. I know how my cars are, I know what I put on them, and I know every inch of the car. If you haven't seen the video on this gray SVT Focus that I replaced the AC, go watch that video and take a look on how they gave me back the car with the AC system all broken and useless. This is the same shop that went joyriding with my car. They installed the new air compressor, a new AC dryer and condenser, and they supposed to flush the whole system before charging the AC. And guess what? That also broke down, and it lasted just one summer. So I had to replace the whole system, and that cost me like $400 just in the parts, no labor, and without the Freon. So this is why you have to learn to fix your cars, because otherwise you're gonna be spending a lot of cash and you're gonna run into the same issues that I'm running. I have some female friends that had taken their cars to mechanic shops, and they got screwed even more because they're women, and most women don't know much about their cars or what's wrong with them. And when you run with these shady mechanic shops, they are just looking at you with a money sign on your forehead. This is one of the tools that I bought from Harbor Freight to be able to fix my cars. While we wait for the parts to arrive, we are installing a new carpet on the car, and we are replacing the shifter cables. Also, another part that they broke. So you can add up $100 more. Check that out. The car is looking better than ever. Too bad that I can't say that for the rest of the components. And then, guess what happened? We found out we have a fuel leak. I don't know why, but the fuel filler hose was having a huge leak, and I had to replace that one as well. In the next episode, we are working on the red SVT Focus, and we're gonna take out the engine and transmission of that car, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm taking the engine out. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.